Yo, the car market is screwed. I'm at CarMax right now. This lot is completely full with cars, and there may be one customer out here.
So I'm a used car dealer, and right now, even $2,500 cars are not selling on my lot.
There are more unsold cars sitting on dealer lots than at any point in modern history. And the numbers are so catastrophic that industry insiders are calling it the Great Automotive Reset.
Something is seriously wrong in the car market right now. Car dealerships all over the country are panicking. Lots are full, prices are still insane, and nobody is buying. In 2026, dealers are stuck with inventory they can't move, buyers are walking away, and the entire system is starting to crack. Today, we're breaking down why this is happening, who's really at fault, and what it means if you're thinking about buying a car or waiting it out. And by the way, I'll be featuring some of your comments in today's video, so definitely make sure to leave one down below.
So I'm a used car dealer, and right now, even $2,500 cars are not selling on my lot. And for you, that means prices are going to come down. And on a lot of these cars that you see behind me, we've marked them down $500, $1,000, and we still can't get them to move. Some of them, we've even got to the point where we're breaking even, and they still won't sell. It's been so slow for us lately that I haven't bought a single car in 2 weeks. Yeah, check this out. So all these cars up here are for sale, and down here where we park our cars for recon, ghost town, right? All our cars are ready up there because we've actually had time to get them ready. We haven't been turning and burning, and it's a good thing right now, but I mean, I would rather see way more cars down here than I would up here, because this right here means I'm not selling anything. But even with all of this going on, I don't want you to buy a car from me right now. In fact, I don't want you to buy a car from any car dealer right now, because I believe it's going to get much, much worse for us. And later on in this video, I'll actually show you what I paid for a lot of these cars that I have sitting out here. So it's been crazy how quickly that this car market has changed, especially for me as a small used car dealer.
I know what's
cars that
happening.
are $5,000 and under, we would turn and burn, turn and burn, turn and burn. Just 3-4 months ago, you can see this clip right here. I had almost no cars on my lot left to sell, and that was right after tax time. And now look, we have a lot full of cars.
Right after tax time, when everybody's getting their refund checks to go blow on cars that are heavily marked up. Honestly, I don't think I feel all that bad for dealerships. It's almost like dealers are finally getting a taste of their own medicine. It feels really good. I hate to be that person. You know what I think's happening? You know what I think's going on? Typically, we have leases, we have finances. You know, people finance cars, they lease cars. For the most part, the general population, most people are not buying cars cash like we talk about as what you should be doing, saving up and buying cash on the channel. But, you know, if we go back, it's 2025. We're now entering 2020, or we're in 2026 now. A lot of these videos were shot in the latter part or mid of 2025. I've accumulated enough to make a full episode on it. What I think's happening here is, back when the pandemic happened, the shortage of microchips, blah, 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 dealers took advantage of the market and price gouged the ever-living crap out of people and just screwed every single person they possibly could on leases and on financing of vehicles. And we're finally starting to see the after effect of that damage that they caused by absolutely overcharging the crap out of people. People are now so upside down on their loans, which means they bought a heavily marked up market adjustment car that got marked up that maybe is worth, $20K, and they bought it for $30 or $35K. And now 3 to 5 years later, they're upside down on that car. The car is now only worth, I don't know, $20K, and they still owe $30, or the car's worth $15 and they still owe $25 on their loan, and they're screwed. They're 12, 15, 20 grand in the hole, upside down on their car, and they can't afford to buy another one. What they did, scamming everybody years ago, is finally catching up. And it's causing this huge ripple and this huge wave in the car community and in the car world. And I'm going to tell you how you can take advantage of this in a little bit later on in today's episode, because I did, and I made a video on it. But anywho, let's keep going. I wanted to read a couple of comments that people had left on that TikTok because I found them interesting. used car market is fine. The fact that you can't sell $3,000 cars and under means they are junkyard cars. Anything $3K and under that runs and drives where I'm at doesn't last a day. And that's the thing too. I'm surprised he's even selling these cars for $3,000 to $5,000. Like, what the heck is a $3,000 to $5,000 car? If you want like a somewhat running, fully like street legal car that'll pass registration and inspection, I would think for the most part they're about, I don't know, $7,000 to $10,000 easily. $3,000 to $5K is a junkyard car that you're pulling parts off of. I don't understand how you'd even be able to sell those. Or you're selling them just so that you can repo them back from people when they default on their first payment, and then it's like a bait and switch. They do these in poorer areas. It's horrible that they do this, but they prey on people like that. Not to say that's what he's doing, but just a thought, a trap that I've seen people do in the car dealership, car salesman world. I'm a very small dealership in Ohio. I sold 2 cars last month. 2. We normally sell 5 to 7 cars monthly. Every car is well below KBB retail, even thousands below, to the point of just trying to clear the books before curtailment is due. No idea what that is. Plenty of interest, but no one's buying. It's been rough. I mean, not to mention the fact that, interest rates on cars are through the roof. People have been absolutely hammered and screwed by the cost of living increase and inflation over the past couple of years since the pandemic, that everybody is going broke, absolutely broke, and they literally aren't getting approved on loans anymore because they're so underwater on their cars and nobody wants to loan to them. They're high risk, subprime borrowers. So I'm not surprised the market is finally catching up to these dealers. And that's not even going into new cars, the new ones that are horribly manufactured and made in 2024, 5, 6. We'll get into that in a second.
There are more unsold cars sitting on dealer lots than at any point in modern history. And the numbers are so catastrophic that industry insiders are calling it the Great Automotive Reset. We're not talking about a few extra cars here and there. We're talking about 4.2 million vehicles, enough cars to fill every parking space in Manhattan 47 times over. These aren't just sitting for a few weeks. The average days on lot has exploded to 127 days, with some vehicles approaching 300 days without a single serious buyer. Every single day, dealers are hemorrhaging money on floor plan interest. Here's the brutal math. A $35,000 vehicle costs dealers approximately $47 daily in interest charges. Multiply that by millions of vehicles, and you're looking at over $200 million bleeding from dealer bank accounts every single day.
Did you guys know that even car dealerships, even used car or private car dealerships, they, for the most part, don't own any of their inventory? It's all, for the most part, being financed from some sort of bank on a loan. And they pay interest on these loans, which means they have to constantly try to sell these cars as fast as they can, because the longer these cars sit on the lot, the more money dealers are going to be losing every single day.
Dealer in Texas told me yesterday his nightmare story. I've got 247 vehicles on my lot right now. My daily floor plan interest is $11,639. That's $347,000 per month just to store cars nobody wants. I haven't made a profit in 8 months, and my credit line is maxed out. But it gets worse. Dealers are so desperate they're offering incentives that would have been unthinkable 2 years ago.
Are.
We're seeing $15,000 off MSRP, 0% financing for 84 months, and lease deals that lose money on every transaction. And customers are still walking away. The inventory crisis isn't just hurting dealers. It's creating a cascade of failures throughout the entire automotive ecosystem. Auto transport companies are going bankrupt because there's no inventory to move. Detail shops are closing because cars aren't selling fast enough to need prep work. Even car washes are reporting 30% drops in revenue. An auto auction manager in California told me this week, we used to move 2,000 vehicles per week through our facility. Last week, we moved 340. Dealers aren't buying because they can't sell what they already have. The entire wholesale market has frozen solid.
I never thought about like the ripple effect that this would have, because think about it. I know of, and it depends. This is very like location specific. I live in Fort Myers, Florida, near Naples. And the people here, this is where people come to, they're retired. So they'll spend money like there's no problem. So I'm sure the dealers here aren't affected, but across the country and generally speaking, things are different. But I know firsthand, a lot of these detailing shops, wrap shops, PPF shops, they make a lot of their money from dealer inventory. That's how they apply tints, PPF, detailing. Like, it's from dealers sending them cars, and they get kind of like a fleet or wholesale price. So everybody is getting affected, but I don't feel bad. I really don't wish, bad things upon anyone, but it's almost like they're getting a taste of their own medicine, and I really don't feel all that bad about them. Have you ever walked into a dealership? It is horrible. You are essentially hanging meat in front of a bunch of hungry hyenas, and you're the meat, essentially. And they're going to rip you to shreds, take advantage of you, and upcharge and overcharge you for warranties and cars and just BS. Trust me, I know firsthand. And that brings me into my next point here, where I'm starting to see it getting semi-bad, and you can take advantage of this if you follow a few simple rules. You can get discounts at dealerships. Now, it might be advertised. Usually it's not. Dealers don't want to show that they're struggling or bleeding. So you have to push, and kind of lay it out for them. And you can actually haggle and negotiate a little more and get some pretty good deals. I made an entire video showing you guys how last year, mid to end of last year, I took advantage on how I bought my new car, which I have sworn never to buy new cars, but this deal was too good to pass up. I got it thousands of dollars below MSRP. The worst part, and the reason I talk about why you should never buy a new car, is the depreciation, the first year depreciation, and a lot of other things. But if you can snag it at a good deal at the end of the year, or now this year in January, and get 2025 cars that are still sitting on the lot, you can get them significantly cheaper. And that's what I did. I got first year's depreciation wiped off. Definitely check out that video if you haven't already. I want to talk about something that isn't exactly fun to think about, but it is one of those future you will be really glad you did this kind of things. I've heard it so many times. People pass away without a will, and then everything gets tied up in court for years, or things don't go where they thought they would. That's not always the case, but it happens way more than people realize, and it's exactly why I finally started to work on mine. This video is sponsored by Trust and Will, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm just sharing my experience, but they've made estate planning feel way less intimidating than I ever expected. Trust and Will lets you create attorney-designed wills and trusts online in a way that's actually simple and approachable. No stacks of paperwork, no trying to decode legal language. It walks you through everything step by step, so you can put real plans in place for the people and things you care about. What I like is that it's not just for rich people, it's for normal life stuff. If you're married, have kids, own a home, have pets, or you just want clarity about where things should go, this is how you make sure your wishes are written down. And you can update your plan as life changes, which is huge. They've got options depending on where you're at too. Their will-based plan starts at $199, which is great for things like guardianship, pets, and making sure assets go where you want. And if your situation's a bit more complex, their trust-based plan starts at $499, which can help with things like avoiding probate and keeping things a little more private. And while Trust and Will makes this really easy, they're clear that it's a tool, not a replacement for legal advice if you've got unique or complicated needs. So if this is something you've been putting off like I was, check out Trust and Will and take that first step. You can scan the QR code you see somewhere on the screen or click the link in the description of today's video where you'll save 20%. Otherwise, huge thanks to Trust and Will for sponsoring this video. Cry Me a River. They created this. God forbid they deal with the consequences of their greed. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. In 2020, I put down a deposit and pre-ordered a Ford Bronco, customized exactly how I wanted it. Price was $41,450. After literal years of delays, okay, we're going to, exclude that. We understand, we had no idea there'd be a chip shortage or part shortage or blah, 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 or labor shortage, whatever it is. The price was $41,450. After literal years of delays, in the fall of 2023, the dealership I had it delivered to called me but demanded $68,999 for the vehicle. I told them I wasn't interested and that the price was ridiculous and that they couldn't justify that almost $30,000 increase for the same build. They responded by saying they didn't have to justify it. Yet that was their price. They refused to give me a refund on my 100% refundable deposit. I hope every dealership like this goes out of business. Zero sympathy for any of them. I 100% agree. I really do not like the dealership ethics and morals that go on there, because go for it. Go park your car, test it out for yourself, leave your wallet at home and park your car at a dealership and open your car door and stand outside, if you even get to that point, and see how quickly a car salesman will run over to you and like attack you and try to get you into a new car. It is insane. Every time I park my car at one, they're staring at me. It is the weirdest, freakiest thing. And understand, it's very difficult to get a deal in the dealership because you are in their world. You are playing on home turf. You need to do the opposite and get them in your home field, on your home turf. What do I mean by that? Have them call you, or you can call them, and this way you can hang up in the comfort of your own home. You can do the same thing with emails, all this stuff. If you step foot in the dealership, you are outnumbered and you are screwed, because this is what they do for a living, not you. You're a typical 9-to-5er that has a family. You don't have time to be dealing with closers and high tactic salespeople and mega finance sales managers that do this every single day, hundreds of times a day for a living. You're going to get played so bad you won't even realize it. Trust me, they know how it works and you don't.
Sold 50 cars last month, and this month we haven't done anything. I think, it's the 10th, and we've sold 7 cars, 6 cars, somewhere in that ballpark. I got one that I can't even give away. I was on vacation for a week, talked to my brother. He said, hey, we sold the Infiniti today. I'm like, great, that car needed to go. And I get back, and it's still here. So we didn't sell it. The lady that called on it called all the way from Hawaii. It's a 2021 Infiniti QX50. It's got like 90,000 miles, 95,000 miles.
Oh, what?
I've marked it down on the internet all the way to 16.5. It's so cheap, a lady that can't even drive it to where she is living called us on it. Can't even get to her. I'm probably going to have to mark it down again. It's still here. It's going to hit 90 days here probably in the next week or so. And it has got to go. Right now it is rough. I mean, we can't give anything away. Unbelievable.
I would never touch a high mileage luxury vehicle and you don't know the previous owner. You are rolling the dice on that, and more than likely you're going to be paying for the first, second, third, fourth, fifth owner's negligence of not maintaining that car. Oh my goodness. Again, I don't feel bad at all, not one bit. Anywho, I wanted to read a couple of comments that you guys had left on previous New Cars Are Absolutely Horrible episodes. If you guys haven't seen those videos, highly recommend you check them out. And if you guys want to get featured in the next episode, definitely make sure to drop a comment down below. They're making cars like Sheen products. LOL. Literally. The cars nowadays are so atrocious. That's another reason why I absolutely hate the way new cars are being built. There's very few and select manufacturers that are still making cars reliable, that are being made for, looking out for the consumer. And I promise you, it is not Ford, Dodge, Nissan, any of those brands. Toyota and Mazda have been like one of the very few left, and maybe Subaru, and maybe I'm missing another one, really still making reliable cars. And it's coming to an end. I've seen some of the new Lexus and Toyotas, and I've seen some of the newer Mazdas, and they basically are like, hey, can't beat it, join it. So it's a shame. It really is a shame. But if I ever do decide to get new cars, it seems like I'll be stuck with the older cars until something changes, because the haptic buttons, the ambient lighting, all the crap they're putting in new cars, It really is sad. I am so done with the way new cars are.
Yo, the car market is screwed. I'm at CarMax right now. This lot is completely full with cars, and there may be one customer out here. And this is exactly what these car dealers and auto manufacturers get. They are reaping what they sow. This is what they get for years of ripping people off.
Yeah.
Everybody is drowning in negative equity. The interest rates are through the roof.
Yep.
And these cars are just simply too expensive. So what do y'all think?
So that's the other thing is like the consumers, the general public here, not the most financially literate group of people out there, especially when it comes to buying cars. They'll very easily fall victim back in the day to lower interest car loans, even with the prices of cars jacked up through the roof because they don't know any better. So they'll easily go buy a car for $10K or $15K over market value, as long as it's a 3, 4, 2, 0% interest loan. Woo! I'm winning. You don't know how many times I've heard people try to flex to me their low interest car payment on a car they overpaid for or got swindled and are in 7 different foo-foo warranties the dealer sold them. But, I got a 2% interest rate on my car. I'm winning. Okay, keep dreaming. Keep smoking the pipe, my friend. Anyway, what's happening now is you still have the dealers and the salesmen smoking the pipe too, and they still think their cars are worth top dollar. And then you throw in the market adjusting, and now interest rates are no longer 3% or 6%. They are 13%, 9%, 20%, depending on your credit and stuff like that. So, and that's where people are like, I'm going to draw the line. Then, so not only throw in overpriced cars and high interest rates, then throw in the fact that the people trying to upgrade their car every 3 to 5 years are upside down by thousands of dollars on their car loan and car because they got swindled back in 2020, 2021, 2022. It's crazy that people who work at dealerships have payments. Never get high on your own supply. I love this because if you've watched videos, and I know firsthand because I have friends and I know of people, that I talk to that work in car dealerships, they get high on their own supply all the time. It's like some sort of frenzy of FOMO, to feeling left out when you work at car dealerships. Everybody has to have a car, a new one, because they think they're getting a good, employee discount, whether it is or not, and they have insane car payments and buy cars that they can't afford. It's crazy. So it's not just us getting played right now. The people that work as car salesmen are also getting taken advantage of.
Hey, Dwayne, what's the most common dealership scam?
I don't know if you'd call it a scam, but when you buy a car from a dealership, they get you into a oil change package, and that's so that you get used to using the dealership. So whenever you do have an issue with your car, you go back and pay their higher prices for repairs.
So when I went to purchase that car, that new one at the dealership, first time I've ever, and last time I'll probably ever be buying a car from the dealer, when I sat down and they wanted to talk numbers, they handed me the paper and say, hey, so this is what the car's going to cost. It was nearly $50,000 for a 2025 CX-50 Hybrid Premium Plus, if you guys need the full info and spec. And I laughed at him and said, not happening. Took the pen out of his hand and crossed out every single package and added crap that they put on there that to most naive people, or let's just say certain people get taken advantage of at the dealers, and they know that, they'll pay that hand over fist and not know any better. So I got the car out the door at like 41 grand, $9,000 off what they had originally wanted. Now, if these cars are in demand and there was a shortage of cars, that never would have happened. But the car's sitting on the lot for 6 months. I was able to get the upper hand and take advantage of the deal.
Wow, dang,
Customer.
brother, that's
I still owe $22,000. Car's only worth
wow,
12.
brother, good golly.
This is what's happening. Is the buyers now have no equity in their car and they are completely upside down. And most dealers can approve loans like that. Some can, most can't. The car salesman having insane car payments is perplexing. They are the engineers of loan sharking. Truly, they are. How could they possibly be falling victim to their own tactics? There must be talk around the office of how bad they are screwing people with loans. They don't. They lie for these videos to normalize $1,000 car payments. That's true. I think you're giving them too much credit. I don't think they're that smart to realize that that's a good idea. Maybe some of them are, but I don't think that's what's happening. Trusting what a car salesman says is like believing Trump ever wanted the Epstein files released. LMFAO. It's because they see people take these deals all day. It is normalized to them. That's what I think is the main thing. You have to drink the Kool-Aid to feel comfortable doing it. I know several people that work in car sales as car salesmen. Tons of them have purchased cars from the dealers thinking they're getting a deal, or they need to, flex the brand, or it helps them sell cars, blah, 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 blah. And they have tremendous, massive car payments, and lots of them are upside down, and lots of them drink the Kool-Aid too. So I disagree to what the person says that they don't. Majority of them do. It's just part of the game, I guess, getting screwed yourself.
So I went to go return my lease car today, right? And I get to the dealership and they're like, okay, great. We know you already sent in photos. We sent it to our team for like the lease returns. This is how much you owe for excessive damage and like wear and tear, right? The bill was $2,000. It was like $2,200.
For
and I
what?
literally was like, I'm not paying that. I was like, I'm not fucking paying that. I've had this car for 3 years. Of course there's going to be like some wear and tear, right? It was a $1,300 charge for the scuff that was on the side of my car, right? $600 to remove the tint that I had on my windows, and another couple $100 for like the wheel having a scratch on it. I was like, I'm not doing that. So I leave. I find a body shop next to me, right? I go to the body shop. I show him the scuff. I'm like, how much will this be? He goes and grabs a liquid, some sort of magic liquid.
Wipes it off.
Rubs it on the car. The whole scuff goes away. Completely gone. And he's like, nope, like, you're good. It's free. I'm like, thank you, right? So then I come to a tint shop. I'm here right now. They're removing the tint off my windows. $50.
Yep.
$50. I'm not going to fix the wheel. I don't have time for it. I'm over it. So that's going to be a couple $100. But like, you mean to tell me I just paid $50 for the $2,000 they were about to charge me? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yep, nearly every single thing the dealer is going to offer you is a complete ripoff and a scam. And I was just about to say, I'm glad he did. A couple years ago, when I used to live in New York, I had tints on my car, and in order to pass state inspection, you have to get the tints. You can't have tints. So I went to a shop, and for $150, they removed the tint, gave me my car back, passed inspection, came back, and they reapplied new tint, $150. Charging somebody $600 to remove them, insane. Lucky for him, he was able to polish that off. Lots of the time, scuffs on cars, most of the time, lots of times. I've seen it pretty frequently. What it is it's a scuff from a bumper of the other car, and all it is the plastic has like adhered from the other car onto your clear coat. And if you use a little polish, and a little hand towel, and you wipe it off, a slight abrasive, it comes right off very easily, and you can make a car really look, from a 6 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10 very quickly. Most people don't know this. To remove tint, LOL, they should be thankful you put the tint on. It's crazy. That reminds me of another story, and I've used to work in the car industry. I used to be a marketing manager for an exotic car rental company. And lots of times people would bring their cars there, and I'd go in them, or I'd have conversations with them. And I remember one time, somebody was telling me a story how they got screwed at the BMW dealership because they had a lease. And when you get a brand new car, they put pretty expensive tires on them. And he kind of burned through a pair of tires on the car over, 2.5 years, 3 years. So he went to like just a general store and just put pretty decent, but just different tires on them. Maybe the car originally had, I don't know, Michelin, and he put some Goodyear on, or whatever, Pirellis. Guess what? Because that wasn't the tires they gave to him, he is now responsible for paying for 4 new tires of that brand to put back on the car to match the spec. Several thousands of dollars marked up at the dealer. So they will nickel and dime you and screw you. And it almost makes me wonder, now that they're losing so much money and have a hard time selling cars, their bread and butter, if they're now resorting to trying to get more money out of all the other things that they offer that they were maybe a little more lenient on in the past, like lease returns. Now they're going to crack down on it because their revenue is lower, and they're just going to screw and nickel and dime every single person they can possibly get their hands on.
Ford jacked up the prices of their trucks, and now they're not selling, and things are getting bad. A new 2025 F-150 Platinum costs over $85,000, and Ford dealers aren't selling them. This one's been sitting for over 250 days at this dealership.
200.
Now look at some of this data. For example, MSRP $85,000. The dealer invoice price is $79,000. So it's super profitable for the dealer, but again, it's not selling. How bad is the situation? There's a 6,030 days supply of inventory because only one of these F-150 Platinums have sold in the last 45 days within 500 miles of this one, yet Ford dealers in that same area have 134 for sale. That's a huge issue because there's a lot of supply and not enough demand. So what's Ford doing about it? Well, they're giving you 0% financing for 36 months to try and sweeten the deal. But you tell me, how many people can afford a $2,200 monthly payment for a pickup truck? Now, on the other end of the spectrum, the Ford Maverick is selling way better. For example, $35,895 MSRP on this XLT. And again, look at the data. The MSRP, $35,895. The dealer invoice price is $35,176. The dealer doesn't make a lot of money when they sell this truck, but they can sell a lot of them. 165 days supply for this one. 129 have sold in the last 45 days, yet there are 474 for sale. That's actually still too many for sale and not enough sold, but it's way better than the F-150 Platinum that we looked at a moment ago. So yeah, Ford is in some serious trouble. They built way too many expensive pickup trucks that aren't selling, and that means you can go in and negotiate a hell of a deal, especially as we enter into the fourth quarter here and the end of the year. That's when dealers are most desperate, especially to sell the 2025 inventory, because they have 2026s coming soon.
And that's a good tip too, to look up the dealer invoice price. That's what I did when I was buying my Mazda CX-50, and I noticed that it was pretty much exactly where the MSRP is of the car. So I knew the dealer really wasn't going to be making that much money off of the sale, and to get it under MSRP was a steal of a deal. I'm taking it off their hands. I went in there almost convincing them that I'm doing them a favor. And eventually, after negotiating back and forth, and I didn't go the first time, this was after several times, 2 to 3 times of going to the dealer, did we eventually agree on a price where, in my opinion, was in my favor.
The car market crash is not happening, and it's because of you. These are all bank repos thought to be sold at auction. Wide body Scat Pack 392 repo. Range Rovers, Kias, Mitsubishis, big trucks, Mercedes, all these repos. BMWs, brand new Ford trucks. The reason why it's not happening is because people are still signing 25, 28, 30% loans till this day, even though I put out many videos and other content creators put out videos and help telling people and explain, stop getting in situations where you have so much negative equity, stop getting situations where you are signing for a high payment auto loan, high interest auto loan. People are still doing it. 2020 BMW X6. Sitting here, ready to go to the auction. Repo. Infinity 2017. Charger back here, ready, just sitting. There's been so many repos, all of them just collect dust. I genuinely thought that the car market will correct because people are seeing $500, $800, $1,200 payments for people that make $2,000, $3,000 a month. That's not sustainable. So you figure what I'm seeing as a car dealer and trying to educate people to help them from getting into a financial situation that could distress them for years to come, that they would stop and think like, oh, I'm not going to get that. I'm going to go ahead and buy something that's affordable. But unfortunately, no. People are still trying to get Mercedes and Audis and Beamers at 30% interest rate, 25% interest rate. I have $10,000, $15,000 in negative equity. How can I get into a newer car? You shouldn't. Pay that car off. Wait till you get to a better financial situation or better credit situation. Then buy something new. Or wait for the market to correct. I've been featured in so many news articles because it's outrageous and outlandish to hear people paying $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 a month for a 3 or 4 year old car. Unfortunately, repossessions are staying up because people are still buying cars with high interest loans and high payments and not budgeting correctly and not thinking about the future. They want to be in the AMG GT63. Doesn't matter if it's $3,000, $4,000 a month. They want to be in it. They want people to see them in it. Used car loan interest rates are still around 12 to 14% on.
Exactly. People aren't thinking about their future, and now it is time for change. Not just with what you should be purchasing and how to budget and save your money for your next car, but also when it comes to your trust and will. Today's sponsor, just had to plug them one last time. It just fit too perfectly.
Average. New car loans are between 6 to 9% on average.
I could have waited for the video to end to plug the sponsor of today's episode here, but didn't realize we only had 2 seconds left. Anyways, guys, that is going to be it for today's episode. Hopefully you learned something. Do not be going out and financing and getting crazy high interest rates on cars. It is absolutely insane. If you are going to be going and looking for a new used car or a new car, consider saving up and buying it outright with cash, or pay off that crazy high interest loan that you currently have, because it's insane and you got taken advantage of here. So hopefully you learned something. Let me know your thoughts and what you think about the car dealerships down in the comments section below. If you haven't already, smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe. And if you haven't already seen my new cars are horrible episode, definitely make sure to check it out right after this. Peace.